Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. So today we are going to kickstart with a high level understanding on what all the data engineering is all about. So here we are not seeing the data engineering as per the Google Cloud perspective. Here the main aim is just to understand the data engineering at a very high level. So let's start discussing what data engineering is all about. Yep. So the data engineering is all about building. Let me just go here and yep. So it's all about building and maintaining the systems. Yep. You can also call this as a pipelines so that these pipelines can collect the data, stores the data, processes or transforms the data and deliver the data so that the others in your organizations like data analysts or business users or data scientists or even other applications can use this data easily and reliably. So the simplest definition compared to the previous one is, so in simple terms, data engineering is all about making the raw data ready to use by following a series of process. Okay, and this series of process is known as data transformation. So you just take the raw data or messy data or unstructured data, apply a series of processes or transformation and convert it into a high quality, reliable data that can be used to drive your business decision. And there is no single standard definition of the data engineering because it's a very massive and it's a very vast and broad field. But from a Google Cloud perspective, just remember this: what data engineering is all about is convert the raw data, apply some processes or transformation, and just store the finished data into a reliable storage. And on that finished data, your business or your organization will take their business critical decisions. Yep. So all the things mentioned above is done by a typical data engineer, right? So a data engineer is a person, or he is responsible to carry all these things. It means convert the raw data, transform it, and then store that finished data into a reliable storage, which your organization or the business will take their business driven decisions. Yep. So let's see the data engineering in a nutshell. Okay, so now let's understand the main steps involved at a very high level, how the things will go in a data engineering. And I repeat, this is just for understanding purpose because each organization, each projects has their different set of processes or different set of rules. So the main aim in this slide is just to get make yourself comfortable to understand how things happen in a typical data engineering project. So the first step is replicate and migrate. It means that you are getting your data to Google Cloud. It means you have data in your company or in your premises or in your storage. You are just pushing that data to a Google Cloud. So this is replicate and migrate. We are going to see that in a blackboard in just a couple of seconds, but just go through this and understand what each steps means at a very high level and understand this conceptually. Okay, so your company has a huge amount of data which is on premise. You want to move or shift that data to cloud. So here you replicate the data and migrate the same data to Google Cloud platform. In short, you can say push your on premise data to Google Cloud. Yep. So the next step here is the ingestion process. Once the data reaches the Google Cloud, you ingest it. It means you store the data in a common landing area. It means ingest the raw data into a storage, which you just think or understand it as a common landing location. Yep. So don't worry about which storage right now. Just remember that raw data is landed somewhere safely inside your Google Cloud. So that's all about ingestion. Transformation is very important. This is the heart or core of data engineering. Here, you apply certain transformation on the data which has been stored during the ingestion process. Okay, so what typically you do in transformation, you just clean the data, you remove the errors, you just handle the missing values or refine it, enrich it, so convert raw data into a high quality data. So this here, around your 70% of the efforts in data engineering will be done in transformation. This is very important, which is core and almost the heart of data engineering. So once your data is polished or finalized, then you will transform, and once your transformation and refining the data is done, you store that data into a reliable storage. Okay, and based on that transformed data, you will, your company or your business will take the decisions. So this is the overall, the holistic view of what data engineering is all about. And I repeat, it's not a standard template which has to be followed in all the organization, but this slide makes you just understand that how the things happen at a very high level. Yep. So in a very big picture, so if you think at a company level, so move data to cloud, land the raw data, transform the data and clean it, then use it to drive the business decisions. So let's move to the blackboard so you will get a very clear understanding on how the things happens. Okay, so this is your on-premise. It means your company, and here is some cloud. Okay, so I'm not good in drawing. This is the cloud. So step number one is from your company, you just move the data to the cloud. So this is called as replication. Step number one. And this data should be stored somewhere, right? Like a temporary location or a temporary warehouse. Okay. So there are some storage areas or storages. So no need to discuss it right now. We are going to in depth on that. Just think that your raw data should have some a kind of temporary storage or some a temporary warehouse kind of thing. Okay, so this process is known as ingestion. It means the data which has reached the cloud, you are just storing it into a reliable storage, and in this storage your data is still unpolished, it is raw, it could be messy, it could be unstructured, it could be a lot of things. Make sense? So the next step is you are applying the transformation on this raw data. So there are so many things you can do, and you will build a pipeline here during the transformation, right? Once the transformation on this raw data is done, you will store that data in a reliable storage. Okay, and in each step there are so many services or products offered by Google which you are going to use as a part of this journey and to become a Google Cloud professional data engineer. Make sense? So each of this step has multiple tools like we discussed, but we will deep dive into those stuff later. For now, if you understand this, this is more than enough, right? So the next point is we are going to discuss what is a role of a data engineer. So a data engineer, he builds these pipelines, especially data engineer builds these pipelines, and he converts the raw data into a useful information or the useful insights. So he handles the ingestion process, storage of the data, cleaning of the data, and you can call transforming the data, and he productionalized the pipelines. Yep, he managed the security and so on. But you cannot define a data engineer in one slide, because this is a huge, it's a huge role, or it's a huge process, and it's a huge area, right? So just for learning and examination point of view, just remember these points. A data engineering is a person who builds the pipelines. It means he converts that raw messy data and apply certain transformation on that data, and he will convert that raw data into a finalized or the finished data, and based on that the business will take its decision. So let's go through each and every point. See, he said he builds the data pipeline. That's fine. He will do ingesting, storing the raw data, cleaning and applying some transformation. He do managing and productionizing the pipelines. It's a new term, don't worry. Right now we are going to do, and we are going to deep dive into all the stuffs whichever we have mentioned here. Make sense? So if you remember just one line, uh, data engineering is all about converting the raw data, building pipelines, clean the data, tune the data, and push the tuned or the finest data, I mean the polished data, into a reliable storage. And that's to based on that data the business will take its decisions. So that's all for this video. We'll definitely go deeper into each and every step in upcoming sessions. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Have a good day.